Good morning, everyone, and today we're checking out a brand new video from Dead Meat, Late Night with the Devil kill count from 2024. Let's hop in and see just how much sleep we don't get talking to this devil, James A. Janice.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. That's right. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Late Night with the Devil, which had its wide release in 2024. Late Night is framed mostly as a late-night show, naturally. The majority of the runtime is meant to be live footage of the show Night Owls, as it aired on Halloween night in 1977. Host Jack Delroy deals with an increasingly sinister 90 minutes as an evil spirit takes control of his show, exposing a dark part of Delroy's past. Late Night with the Devil was a real buzzy indie movie in the year between its festival premiere and its theatrical release. Critics raved about its structure, tone, and lead performance by David Dastmalchian, whose character Jack Delroy makes this movie much more than just a pastiche of late-night influences. Its wide release had a mostly positive reception as well, though it was not without some controversy. Still, it was pretty successful for an indie. It made almost as much as Terrifier 2. Personally, I think this movie's great.
Still, 12.5 million? That's not too bad.
Its vibes are immaculate. If you were ever an avid fan of late night shows, like I was with Conan back in the day, you'll love all the nods to tropes of the format. Sure, the backstage stuff breaks the kayfabe a little, but it's cozy as all hell with its 70s aesthetic and bitchin' soundtrack, and that's enough for me to enjoy the ride. Also, I've never met David Dastmalchian, but literally everyone who does says they love the guy. Yeah, it's true. We last saw him on the kill count in the Belko Experiment and Bird Box, but since then, man, he's done so much. A lot of comic book stuff and some of the biggest movies of the past few years. He's a performer who always elevates every role he gets. He makes character actor the highest compliment. It's so good to see him in a leading role, playing a complicated character that you can tell he really understands. Regardless of how you feel about the movie as a whole, everyone can agree he knocks it out of the park. How many people's lifelines will...
Whoa. Looks like we're going back.
James A. Janice, I claim your mortal form. Surrender your will.
What? I haven't made any demonic pacts. You can't do this.
Ha! Fool, I haven't needed a demonic pact in years. All I needed is a little personal information. And I got it thanks to my handy man-in-the-middle attack.
Oh,
no,
come on.
I never fall for a...
Okay, so let's take a bet at what this ad will be. Will it be a Surfsock, a NordVPN, or something else to that degree?
Man-in-the-middle attack. I make sure to never connect to any Wi-Fis I don't recognize. And even if I did, I use today's sponsor, NordVPN, to encrypt my...
Aha! NordVPN. I thought as much. Cut!
How many people's lifelines will fall flatter than a bad monologue joke? Tough crowd. Let's find out and get to the kills.
And so we begin.
The movie begins with a production card, and then another, and then another. And would you motherfuckers believe me if I told you there were 6 more after those?
Really?
Because there are, no shit. This thing has straight up 9 production cards. What, did each of these companies throw in like $5 to make this thing? We're situated into the 1970s with all its upheaval and jowls. Also, it's serial killers, many of whom were associated with cults or the occult. As this war and strife is broadcast to television sets, so is
cult, and more cults. Great.
the beacon of hope. The late night show Night Owls with host Jack Delroy, which premiered on the fictional UBC network in 1971. The show quickly became a hit thanks to its host, and I'd argue its sidekick too. Love Gus. Jack signed a 5-year contract right away and had aspirations to dethrone Johnny Carson. It feels weird to explain who Johnny Carson is, but I guess at this point, maybe I should. Carson hosted the Tonight Show for 3 damn
Just a little reminder.
decades, from
30 years! Shit!
1962 to 92. At that point, he was replaced by Jay Leno, who was later replaced by Conan O'Brien, who was then replaced by Jay Leno again.
He's back.
Dick move. Hashtag Tito. The love of Jack's life is his wife Madeline, a stage actress who
came back!
his muse. No wonder, she's so warm and loving. Not an ice queen at all. Jack's also part of a secret society based in the Redwood Forests. It's called the Grove, referencing the real-life Bohemian Grove, which is a similar private gentleman's club. Its membership consists of powerful politicians and world leaders. I mean, it's only where they came up with the Manhattan Project, no big deal. According to this movie, the Grove performs sacrifices and worships those owls from the Outer Wilds DLC. Night Owls fails to get Carson ratings. After a few years, Jack is less of a hot new thing and more of a runner-up, which really starts eating at the guy.
Jack's reputation as perennial also-ran starts to bite. He knows that history remembers only kings.
The narrator here is
Ooh,
Canadian
well,
actor
wow.
Michael Ironside, whom we just saw in Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2, one of my
Hey.
favorite recent kill counts. Did you know that?
No.
Well, now you do. Things get
Yeah, 'cause
even
he
worse in
sounded like a horse.
1976 when Madeline is diagnosed with lung cancer. She
Oh,
passes
damn
away
it.
2 weeks after a heartfelt appearance on the show.
It is the highest rating episode in Night Owl's history, but still
Aw.
falls a point short of Carson.
Wow, that is fucking sad.
That
Jack
is
took a
very
short break
sad.
after the death of his loved one, but after he returned, his ratings continued to fall. Yep, been there. He wound up resorting
Damn
to
it.
controversial crash TV tactics and interviews that would spin out of control.
Used to be the fing man, Jack. What the happened to you? Huh?
This reference
Things
is
just
near
fall
and
off.
dear to my heart. It's
That's
parodying
simple.
the infamous 1994 Madonna Letterman interview.
You used to be really kind of like cool.
As a big Madonna
Ooh.
and late night fan, this video is holy to me. It's amazing. Definitely worth watching all 20 minutes of it.
I tell you what, we are going to do a commercial, and we're going to wash her mouth out with soap.
underwear.
There are lots of other specific and general references in the Night Owls montages, showing bits and segments that you'd often find on Carson, Leno, or Letterman. This is such an accurate send-up of late night shows, which feel like an American tradition. So it's kind of funny that this was written and directed by a couple of Australians, brothers Colin and Cameron
Oh.
Cairns. You
Well,
can tell
okay,
they
that's
truly
cool.
love late night shows and did their best to keep Night Owls authentically 70s. They avoided anachronistic language and made sure the production matched the time period, using an actual multicam TV setup with authentic lighting equipment. They had to shoot
Oh,
digitally,
hell yes.
but imitated old studio cameras with color correction, playing around with chromatic aberration and misaligned color channels. As Jack's contract threatens to expire, he plans one big final ratings push on Halloween night. They're gonna pull out all the stops, and we're about to watch the recently rediscovered live footage.
As well as previously
kinda
unreleased
sees death.
behind-the-scenes footage.
Yes, also that, as unlikely as it'll seem. After a production countdown, the tape begins with another brand card. Didn't you have enough
Oh,
already,
no.
movie? The jazzy Night Owls intro establishes its New York setting and our guests for the night. Ooh, can't wait to see Cleo James. The show commences as a
Oh,
late
you gotta
night
love
Halloween
Paul.
episode would, with plenty of spooks and dukes. The monologue's pretty mid, aside from a joke about Billy Carter, and while Delroy delivers with confidence, you can see the sadness behind his eyes. Dusmulchin says he
Yeah,
can relate to the
that is
character's
dumb.
duality, since he too had to project charm and confidence while dealing with anxiety and depression in his own life. Their first Halloween guest is a medium named Christu. Love that gold lame, dude. All you're missing is a purple toupee. He says Halloween is a good night
Purple
to communicate
toupee?
with spirits. He tries to call him up, but his scattershot signals failed to find a target at first.
Your wife has crossed over, see?
You could say that. She ran off with my neighbor 5 years ago.
This guy's hilarious.
My name's Barry.
That's not it.
No, it has been for 42 years.
Hey,
That's
come on,
not it.
skeleton guy, you can laugh, or are you just waiting to get over to Fear Street? Christu the con artist eventually finds a mark, a mother-daughter pair in the audience. He claims to channel their dead son/brother. Man, I hate it when charlatans do this shit in real life. Before they throw to commercial, Christu
They
starts
always
having
do
a
that.
shoot psychic experience.
I'm getting the name Minnie. Does anyone here know a Minnie? Please accept.
Dropped his
Minnie?
accent and everything. And I don't think that I thing is part of his
Ooh.
act. Yes. The
Oh,
power
boy,
briefly
that'll go.
surges before Christu comes back from possession. And that's a great time to hear from our sponsors. During the commercial breaks, we're treated to
Take a cut.
ostensible behind-the-scenes footage. I don't know why this would ever be recorded, or why the characters would discuss the things they do with cameras on them. But hey, whatever. Gotta make this movie work somehow, right? It's fine. This is where we
Yeah.
meet producer
Yeah, of
Leo
course,
Fisk,
of course.
who's been pushing Jack towards more sordid material in pursuit of ratings.
We're running long, late to break. Okay, but we're not bumping Cleo again.
But not. They return with an image you may have seen, since it's at the center of this movie's controversy. According to the Cairns, 3
Oh?
images in the film were generated by AI and further edited by a graphic designer. They claim it didn't replace anyone getting paid to do the work, since their small crew was already doing most of the visual effects themselves. I personally dislike that it was done, and have mixed feelings about how to express that. I think ultimately,
I mean, I would say it's fair enough to, like, create a base image as long as you don't only use that base image. Like, you have someone, well, alter it or edit it to where it fits more into what you're looking for. Because AI ain't perfect. You can get a base image, but that's going to be it. And you try and get any more specific, you're going to get something that's not even close to what you're looking for.
I don't want to dismiss this entire film and everyone who worked on it over this one thing, even if it is important to me. I also know they finished post-production before the launch of ChatGPT-4 and all the AI discussions during the writer and actor strikes. We talk about the issue more in our podcast about the film, which you can see on our other channel, Dead Meat Presents. Jack's next guest is Carmichael Hay, aka one of the best parts of this movie. He's a pompous, grouchy skeptic who used to be a magician. Now he spends his time debunking supernatural claims and dunking on people like Christu. He mentions investigating the Amityville house and says Ed and Lorraine Warren have avoided him. That's despite a cash reward for proof of the supernatural offered by his organization IFSIP, the International Federation of Scientific Investigation into the Paranormal.
100
here we go.
grand. And how many have taken up the challenge?
Oh, dozens.
And how many checks have you signed?
Yet to sacrifice a nickel, Jack.
Carmichael
Yet
is a
to
send-up of
sacrifice
James
a
Randi,
nickel.
who also began as a magician before becoming a self-described investigator. He, too, was part of a wordy acronymed organization and had a standing cash offer to anyone who could prove the paranormal existed. After almost 20 years, it was retired without them ever needing to pay out a cent. Temperamentally, Randy was much nicer and warmer than Carmichael Hay, who has more of the brash arrogance of a Richard Dawkins or Christopher Hitchens. Carmichael and Christy get into a spat. The skeptic explains the concept of cold reading. The psychic explains the concept of cold water. Jack defends Christy by saying his last message was meant for him. Minnie was once upon a time his private nickname for his dearly departed Madeline. Carmichael still doesn't buy it, and his skepticism makes Christy sick. Oh, like really sick.
Oh, jeez.
Go to a goddamn commercial!
Cut the camera already.
They clean up the set and pacify the crowd with Gus, Jack's punching bag sidekick. Seriously, Jack just rips into this poor guy the whole show. Very much an Andy Richter type character. But never
I mean, then again, if you're paying just to have people talk shit about you, you're still getting paid.
mind the mess, producer Leo
Just gotta
tells
take a
Jack
punch.
what's up. Christu's upchuck is up in the ratings, so keep it up, dude. David Dastmalchian was eager to take on this role since he has his own obsession with horror hosts. He credits Cremation Mortem for breaking him out of his conservative religious upbringing and getting him interested in the genre. Later, he found Svengoolie during a difficult period of his life, which is why he improvised a shout-out during Jack's monologue, referencing the horror host's hometown of Berwyn, Illinois. His respect for the craft goes so deep, he hosted the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards as his own horror host persona, Dr. Fearless. Of course, Jack Delroy's a late-night host, not a horror host, so to prepare for the role, Dastmalchian would go to sleep every night watching late-night shows. He'd watch everyone, Carson, Cavett, Conan, Letterman, Jimmy's, Fallon, and Kimmel, Seth Meyers, and Phil Donahue. But the biggest inspiration for Dastmalchian and the Cairns brothers was Don Lane, an American who hosted an Australian late-night show in the 70s. Dastmalchian found him the most open-minded and curious about supernatural guests, much like Jack Delroy. Lane even once had a heated moment with James Randi when the skeptic called out a psychic named Doris Stokes.
Let anybody. We're going for a commercial break, and you can pick.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus,
The table?
breaking glasses and shit? Come on. When they come back from break, Jack tells the audience not to worry. Christy is
I'm loving
fine.
this.
Sorry, hold for ambulance. Okay, and clear. He says his next guest might make a believer out of Carmichael yet.
My sixth sense is telling me we may just see this check again before the night is through.
It's the author of Conversations with the Devil, Dr. June Ross Mitchell. She runs a Psi Research Center that recently got entangled with the First Church of Abraxas. That's a cult led by Xander Diabo, who says their god Abraxas thinks they should live deliciously.
Abraxas shows us there is no good, no evil, no redemption. Only what we desire and how we obtain it.
Diabo's appearance and name are a
All
reference
fictional.
to Anton
All
Zandor LaVey, founder of the Church of Satan and author of the Satanic Bible. Charges are made against the church for kidnapping children
Based
and
on a real
possessing
guy.
firearms. Waco style. So the FBI storms their headquarters. Waco style. Diabo and his supporters
Waco
light
style.
a defiant
Come
fire
on.
that kills them. So I'll count the leader and the 8 members we can confirm he had from the video shown. The only survivor was a 10-year-old girl named Lily, who was given to Dr. June's research
here
center.
we go.
During sessions, she made contact with a demon speaking through Lily's body. So why don't we bring them both, or rather all 3 of them, out right now? Ain't she adorable, folks? And the camera loves her.
So pleased that you could join us today.
Thank you, Mr. Delroy. I'm so glad you could join us too.
Or
He's
she
down
just
at the
loves the
camera.
camera. Can't stop looking into him, that's for sure. Damn,
No,
girl,
see, he's
chill
just
out.
straight
It's
up
not a
staring.
staring contest, all right? I love Ingrid Torelli as Lily. She's such a good and unique horror movie kid. Even her voice is different than the usual creepy kid Timber.
Time to make ourselves pretty again.
Don't I already look pretty, Jack?
And sometimes it's even
I ain't
different
gonna answer
still.
that.
Before shooting scenes, Torelli would stare at the mirror in her dressing room to detach from herself.
I walked past her dressing room at one point, and she was staring in the mirror at herself, getting in character and preparing. I was like, God, I know I've been a professional creepy guy for a long time. This one's out-creeped me by like 1,000%.
Her guardian June is played by Laura
You
Gordon.
gotta
who we
admit,
saw as
when they all
Ashley in
good,
Saw
they all
5,
good.
the first victim of that movie's trap plot. During a break, Dr. June warns Jack that Lily's becoming unstable. She doesn't think they should go forward with having her on the show, but Jack and Leo aren't about to sacrifice potential ratings gold. They especially need a win after what Leo just learned.
Christo is dead.
Yep,
Oh,
Fairweather Psychic's
shit.
brain bursted, and he died in that ambulance we heard on his way to the hospital. Jack doesn't relay that info when they go back on air. As Carmichael pokes and prods, June explains that her clinic has studied real instances of psychic phenomenon, including demonic possession.
Psychic infestation is the term we prefer, but yes.
And June says Lily's psyche is infested as fuck. But not by Abraxas. It's a minor demon who serves Abraxas, I guess? I don't know, just go with it.
What,
She's
a
an expert
low-level
after all.
demon?
Check out all her cool expert stuff with the ritualistic dagger. Lily calls the demon Mr. Wiggles.
He kind of wriggles his way inside my head, and then he wriggles his way out.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Wriggles. I was thinking of something else.
Oh,
Anyway, that
oh,
bastard
oh.
wriggles his way through their power system
All right.
and uses a theremin to blow up some drinking glasses. Jack knows this thing could wriggle higher ratings for him, so he gets the audience to pressure Dr. June into doing a demonic showcase.
Please stay tuned for a live television first, as we attempt to commune with the devil.
Well,
But not before a word from our sponsors.
And everyone's thrilled about that.
All right,
except
fine.
for Gus and June. And that skeleton with his fucked up looking fingers. That poor little bastard's hands. Gus
See?
voices his displeasure during a break.
like, that's one thing you could totally have a real person actually walk on, because AI cannot do hands.
Saying they shouldn't be fucking around with demon shit. He and the crew are scared, but Jack tells him to buck up and get on with the show. When they come back, Jack gives a dramatic introduction for Dr. June's demonstration with Lily. Come on, people. You all see how that girl is sitting there giggling evilly. Someone needs to stop this shit. June puts Lily in a trance and pages Mr. Wriggles. Lily starts wriggling violently. Davia
Ooh.
breaks the chair. Mr. Wriggles is in control now. That guy is pretty scary looking. Also says he's an old friend of Jack's.
We go way back. We met amongst the tall trees. Remember?
Oh shit,
Oh.
is that the Phantom
The
Patriot? I love the
Redwood.
layered voices of possessed Lily, with Torelli's mixed nicely with another deeper one.
What's going on with like a broken lip? Like
Together, they have
this. Like, what's going on with that?
Power of earning FCC fines.
Jack and June went up the hill to knock each other's brains out. Jack and June went up the hill to each other's brains out.
It's great how the censors were able to bleep it during the second verse, when they anticipated it. Neither the slap nor a Latin chant snaps Lily out of it, and she grows more accusatory towards Jack.
How could you let it happen, Jack?
That what happened?
How could you let it happen?
Her voice is now
What?
Minnie's, Jack's deceased wife, the same voice that came out of her earlier.
Time to make ourselves pretty again.
Don't I already look pretty, Jack?
So, is Mr. Wriggles a demon who
Oh.
serves Abraxas or Madeline's spirit? Whoever he is, his final act is levitating Lily's chair. After that, he's outie, and Lily returns to Earth. The experience leaves everyone shaken up.
And now
Jack
her
already wants a
lip is
recurring
fine.
Lily segment to maintain these new high ratings.
We're back! We're back from the fucking dead.
Leo's practically getting her an agent, and berating Gus for voicing opposition. Oh, poor Gus. All they've got to do now is bring it on home.
And then to wrap it up, throw to Cleo.
Hell yes! Can't wait for Cleo James. They return to air where Jack apologizes for what happened, but Lily says she's fine for the most part.
I'm sorry if Mr. Wriggles said anything rude.
And
Yeah,
just
don't
the usual
worry
demon
about it.
sex stuff. It's what they do. Carmichael doesn't buy
Well,
it and
you
says
can beat
Lily's
the
being
demon.
exploited. He promises he can prove that everything they just saw was an act.
I'll need a volunteer. Thank you, Gus.
Oh, come on!
Gus.
Oh, Gus. Poor guy only has one request.
My wife likes the way my head sits on my shoulders, Mr. Haig. I hope you're not planning to make it spin.
That's a reference to The Exorcist, which the characters would have been familiar with, and which was a big inspiration for the Cairns while they made
It
this
did come
film.
out in
Other
73.
inspirations included non-horror films like Network, The King of Comedy, and the Mondo documentary, The Killing of America. In fact, the whole style of Late Night's opening prologue is based on The Killing of America, even going so far as to use the same font for the title card. Haha, it's late with it this
finally.
time. Carmichael sets the stage
Finally.
for his own hypnosis act, one that involves an awesome little watch thing. Look at it go! Oh man, how'd he get it to? What? Whoa, that was was great! He uses it to hypnotize Gus and everyone in the studio via monitors. Then he gets Gus to believe he's got something on his neck. Or rather, something in his neck. Something like motherfucking worms!
Oh.
Gus hates worms, so he'd better get him out of there. Aw, gross!
Oh.
Ew, it's all worms and mud.
Oh,
sick,
geez.
yeah. Carr winks at us like it's a trick, but then appears to lose control as Gus continues being afflicted by body worms.
Oh, no.
And then it happens. A giant worm bursts forth out of Gus's eyeball. Holy wow, this effect rules. It's so
geez.
disgusting.
No.
I hope it never ends.
Screamer, here, awake!
Oh, it ended. Carmichael had never really lost control. This was all a trick. Nothing we just saw was real. I think Lily knew the whole time.
Why is Gus acting so silly?
Carmichael knew this group hypnosis would work based on an earlier trick he pulled with the ritualistic dagger.
You truly are a suggestible lot. Handy to know.
He shows everyone the objective reality
Oh, my
by
lord.
playing back the tape. It was all just the power of suggestion. There were never really any worms at all.
I've never been so embarrassed in my whole life.
This poor man. Sad Sack
It's
Gus
okay,
is played by
Gus.
Risa Terry in his
It's
first
okay,
ever
Gus.
on-screen role. He comes from an improv comedy background, so he and Doss Mulchin would riff on set. Some of their ad-libs made it into the final film. Meanwhile, Carmichael Haig is
Oh.
played by Ian Bliss, who was Bane in The Matrix Reloaded and Revolution, both of which also featured
Oh.
Christopher Kirby as Mouser. Kirby plays stage manager Phil in this movie, and was in
Hey.
the upgrade kill count as a thug who got murdered in the face. Carmichael says this is exactly what
people.
June did, but
Lot of
Lily
people.
suggests they check for themselves by playing the earlier footage. I mean, great idea, kid, but sorry, I don't think we've got the time.
I'm sorry, our producers are telling me that the lovely Miss Cleo James is standing by to take us out.
Hell yes! I knew Jack was a Cleopatra like me. He knows how much we've all been waiting for.
I just think maybe we should bring her back at a later date because we can't leave everybody hanging like this.
I mean, I guess he is right, though.
Sorry, what? In lieu of the incredible Cleo James.
Sorry,
fucking
Cleo.
bullshit! They play back the tape, and nope, Lily's still looking as Reagan as ever. Jack notices a glitch and asks them to go frame
what
by
the-
frame, like they were kill counting a Purge movie. Ah,
Oh,
man,
shit.
the actual thing that was there for a frame was this, Madeline's face in the back of Lily's head. But for the playback
Oh.
scare, they went with goofy Force Ghost Madeline? What a
No.
bummer. As Lily's
No.
voice indicated earlier, Madeline is
No.
here. I'm still not sure if she's Mr. Wriggles. I don't think the movie is ultimately clear. Whoever's in there, though, they've got too many appliances plugged in, because Lily's body is shorting out like a toaster in a bathtub. I kind of like this effect. It's like she's in the
Ooh.
middle of a tug of war played by... Oh my god, her head just split
Oh,
open! Hell yeah!
shit.
Looking like the Thing if it were a furnace. Gus tries to compel the demon through the power of Christ, but he's killed when his head is twisted around and he falls through the glass table.
Gus!
It's a death that was, of course, foreshadowed earlier.
My wife likes the way my head sits on my shoulders, Mr. Haig.
Oh.
I hope you're not planning to make it spin.
I just
How
wish the
could
effect
you?
didn't look so bad. The audience starts to skedaddle and June tries to interfere. For that, Lily lifts her by the necklace and kills her. Not by strangulation, but by cutting straight through her
Oh,
neck.
damn.
Holy shit. Carmichael's seen enough. He gets down on his knees and praises his new Abraxas overlord. He even tries to pay out properly, but his check ain't legal demon tender. This moment was also
idiot.
foreshadowed earlier.
We may just see this check again before the night is through.
Lily kills Carmichael by shaking him up, then melting his skin and
Oh.
turning it into lava? Oh yeah, his face is melting.
Dude,
He
was
did.
cool.
This finale is a nice showcase for the effects work from Sharp Effects. Looks like they handled everything, from the 3 hours of makeup to turn Ingrid Torelli possessed, to the snapping open of her head, from the animatronic worm that bursts out of Gus's eye, to the simple bladder vein that pulsed from Christu's forehead. Great work! Jack is saved by Leo and stares down Lily as he leaves. After he's gone, she pulls the camera into her face and gives us a static feed. Wait,
Oh,
is that,
geez.
what is that?
That was probably Mr.
Now,
Wiggles.
you'd think that'd be it. This is clearly the end of the live broadcast we were watching. But the movie breaks format and starts revisiting scenes we saw earlier, only with Jack cognizant of what's happening.
How did I get here?
The same way you always get here, Jack. Straight down 5th and right on 47th.
Aw,
This
it's
isn't
good to hear
right.
Gus laugh again. Jack's not laughing though, especially when the movie's aspect ratio changes into widescreen. Things get weird in widescreen. Like real weird.
Widescreen.
Nasty eyeworm thing is back. Jack tries to tell any viewers out there to stop watching this nightmare.
Turn it off! Turn it off! Turn it off!
Sounding like the end of Halloween 3.
Oh,
After some freaky
jeez.
flashes, Jack's back at the UBC contract signing.
What did you have to sacrifice to get here tonight?
Oh, Jack Delroy's greatest sacrifice is yet to come.
That line was also heard the first time we saw this scene.
What did you have to sacrifice to get here tonight?
The answer appears to be his wife Madeline. Seems
Oh,
like Jack
damn.
went to the Grove and asked how he could be successful, then underwent a ritual and agreed to a sacrifice. That's the reason Madeline got cancer and died. And for what, the 2 spot?
Oh.
Conan would never. To be clear, Dosmalchin says Jack
Holy
did not
shit.
knowingly sacrifice his wife. Yeah, it was more of a monkey's paw situation.
Yeah.
An unintended consequence of dealing with the devil.
It makes
You start
sense.
to wonder if you had access to things that could help you pull the levers of your own success or well-being, what would you do?
A door in this nightmare slides open to show Jack a Kubrickian image. Madeline on her deathbed, blaming him for her illness. I don't think this actually happened in real life.
Can
I
you
think
really
it's just
blame
Jack's
him?
guilty conscience. Seems like he's trying to convince himself more than Madeline, and convince us the viewers most of all.
Wasn't supposed to turn out this way. You have to believe me.
He grovels at her side and she asks him to put her out of her misery. She indicates the ritualistic dagger and he complies. He grabs it and stabs her in the gut. Only it wasn't
Jeez.
Madeline he stabbed. It was Lily. He killed her right on the set of his show, it would seem.
Oh,
And hey,
crap.
that's not a bad thing. She really was a demon who killed everyone, since their bodies are still strewn everywhere.
Oh,
the movie
that's
ends
by a
with
demon.
sirens growing closer
whatever
as
the
Jack
hell.
tries to wake himself up out of this nightmare. The transmission ends, so it is done. How many night owies did our night owly audience get? Let's find out with the help of our special guest, Mr. Wriggles.
There we go. This was a very strange one. I have no idea what to actually even say.
We counted 15 kills in Late Night with the Devil, with the victims consisting of 8 males and 7 females. That gives us this mostly even Late Night pie chart.
Damn,
Surprisingly,
almost.
we've only seen this count and breakdown once before, in Ready or Not. With a runtime of 93 minutes, Late Night had a kill on average every 6.2 minutes. I'll give the Golden
Not bad.
Chainsaw for coolest kill to Lily, as long as we include her demonic head splitting open at the seams. I know that's not what killed her necessarily, but I love the effect so much, I wanted to ruin it.
I would count the kill as everything of her possession the second time when she isn't strapped down to a damn chair.
Gold Machete for lamest kill will go to Gus, since I really don't like the way the effect looks.
Oh.
Also, Gus was bad. And here, have these two. I'll give the Roaring Lion for coolest production card to Good Fiend, which is actually David Dosmalchin's company. It's got cute stop motion that I appreciate. Conversely, the Sleeping Lion for lamest production card will go to Vic Screen. What, just some bass tones
Kind
and
of
bold
cute.
letters? Get more creative, Vic, whoever you are. And that's it. Late Night with the Devil had its wide release in 2024. You know, its limited theatrical run gave distributor IFC its biggest opening weekend ever.
Hey!
Stay tuned to see what we have for you next week. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count.
Alright everyone, well before we shout out this video like normal, let's see what'll be up for next week's kill count video.
Next kill count.
Looking to get away this summer? Need a break from the family?
No kids week? It says no kid. Priska, you should have checked.
Then you're in luck.
Uh-oh.
Because here at Anamaka Resort, you'll have the most memorable vacation.
Welcome to our version of paradise.
Discover delicious cocktails.
Oh, wait, yes, yes, for a second I thought I knew what this movie was. It's old!
Spectacular scenery, and of course, the beach that makes you old.
Yep, there it is.
I only
Old.
recommend it to certain guests.
The beach that makes you old is our world-famous hotspot of existential dread.
Wow. I just got chills.
It's where boys become men, and men become crazy.
Yep.
Jack Nicholson did a film with Marlon Brando.
Oh no. Hey, why is that guy acting so crazy?
It's hard to explain.
He's probably just crazy for the clear water and smooth sand you'll find at the beach that makes you old. From Sixth Sense director and twist enthusiast M. Night Shyamalan comes Old,
Oh,
featuring
of course it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. How did I not even know that? Well, everyone, that's going to be the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all y'all next week when we flick back on with Old's Kill Count. Till then, this is Fox, signing out. Peace.